Dear faithful communicators, communication is a gift, a wonderful gift, an amazing gift. Part of the gift just comes in our DNA. It's represented in us as a species, and all human beings have a gift of communication that's remarkably rich and deep. And part of it comes from culture. As we cultivate the creation, we human beings create social conventions, the ways that we do things, including the ways that we communicate. And we learn these conventions growing up. They're like rituals. How do you do a conversation? What should you talk about at dinner, and what should you not talk about? How do friends communicate? How do people teach? We learn these things. They're social conventions about communication, these rituals. They're like rules. And we learn the rules often of communication without even thinking about the fact that we're learning them. And they help us to commune. This gift of communication is about not just communication itself, but it's about communion. It's about community. Because the gift of communication allows us as human beings to have these deep relationships with one another so that we can really, truly commune. And listen to this, the gift extends across time so that each of us can communicate with other people who are long gone. We can read about the Apostle Paul from 2,000 years ago. We can read books that have been out of print for a while and the authors are gone. We can see recordings, old films of people who are gone. Our communication is across time. What a remarkable gift. And it's also across space, so that we can communicate 2 or 3 feet away with someone by talking and listening, or around the world through the internet, through satellites. It's through space and time that we communicate as part of this remarkable gift. The great Roman orator Cicero said that all communication, especially public speaking, but really all communication, equips us to inform one another or to teach. It also equips us so that we can simply delight in each other and relationship. And then third, it equips us so that we can persuade. We can move one another to think differently or to act differently. And finally, this gift of communication helps us to meta-communicate or meta-communication, to communicate about communication. Think about this for just a minute. We can talk about our communication, think about our communication, reflect on it, and then change it. We get, of all creatures, to be able to communicate about communication more than others. And this helps us to improve our communication, to understand it. Now, this gift of communication should prompt one thing in us, one major thing, and that is an attitude of gratitude. So the first chapter of every book written on communication should begin with the proper attitude, and that is gratitude, because communication is a gift. Shalom.